Good morning, respected judges and dear colleagues. I'll be discussing management of anterior corneal scar by an innovative technique, which we have termed as tuck-in femtosecond laser-assisted lamellar keratoplasty. There are no financial disclosures. The anterior corneal layers are affected in many diseases like Salzmann nodular degeneration, spheroidal degeneration, heel keratitis, which is primarily limited to anterior corneal layers, and epithelial and stromal corneal dystrophies. SALK provides the advantage of a sutureless lamellar keratoplasty procedure to treat these opacities. Traditionally, the SALK has been done using a microkeratome or a femtosecond laser. Laser assisted surgeries. The femtosecond, which has been described traditionally, that has a side cut angle of 90 degree. The problem with both these techniques is sizing of appropriate donor and recipient cuts for achieving a good apposition of graft host junction. You can see in this photograph a traditional SALK where at the graft host junction there is a gap. Now this gap can act as a nidus for infection over a period of time because it heals with a notch. As you can see, post of about 6 months post-operatively, there is a notch, so it can act as a nidus for infection. To circumvent these problems, we designed this prospective, we conducted this prospective interventional case series where 15 eyes of 15 patients with anterior corneal opacities involving up to 200 microns of cornea, and we took them for TFALC procedure. All the patients underwent uncorrected and best corrected visual acuity evaluation, slit lamp biomicroscopic evaluation, IOP measurement, and depth of corneal opacity was assessed using an anterior segment OCT. The procedure was done using a VisuMax femtosecond workstation. So this is the video of the procedure. This is the donor lenticule which is being prepared. Here we have modified the side cut angle to 45 degree instead of traditional 90 degree. Now this 45 degree, it created the sloping edges at the end. Then the donor lenticule was dissected all around. The size that we have taken varied from 7.9 to 8.5. So the donor lenticule has been prepared. Then we prepared the recipient bed by cutting the recipient lenticule. It was again cut at 45 degree angle. Now this 45 degree angle, it created a sort of wedge at the edge. The dissection was not very difficult except in some cases with leucomatous opacities where we had to use some sharp instruments for removing a particular dense adhesions. Then we transferred the donor lenticule over to the recipient bed, and the edges of this donor lenticule, they were tucked in all around because of that 45 degree at the recipient as well as donor. So it fitted very well into the recipient bed all around. Another modification that we did is we did not use any fibrin glue at this point of time. We just placed a BCL for 3 weeks. And after placing the BCL for 3 weeks, the BCL was removed. So this was the procedure that we carried out in 15 patients, 15 eyes. 6 had corneal opacities due to healed microbial keratitis, 5 had spheroidal degeneration, 3 had Salzmann nodular degeneration, and 1 had vertex keratopathy. The mean preoperative depth of corneal scar was 148 micron, and recipient scar lenticule that was removed was 153 microns. The thickness of donor lenticule, mean thickness was 168 micron. We kept it 10% more thickness of the donor lenticule to cater for graft compactness, which occurs after the procedure. Here you can see the difference at the graft host junction. Compared to the traditional techniques, you can see there is a 45 degree angle at the graft host junction, and the donor and the recipient corneas, they have fitted very well into each other, and surface is very, very smooth. The visual acuity of the patients improved from 0.96 logmar units to 0.52 logmar units, and most of the patients achieved 618 or better vision. This 45 degree side cut, it gave us around 150 to 400 micron space for overlap between the recipient and donor lenticule. This is the largest study of femtosecond assisted SALK published in the literature so far, and it's a sutureless and a glueless technique. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Vijay. We will now take questions for Dr. Vijay, if there are any.
Dr. Biju?
Sorry. Yes,
Nice presentation. Nice
Good morning,
presentation.
Good morning.
Morning. So again, I'll ask the same question. Any other technique?
Ma'am, we can do.
Sutureless.
Yes, ma'am. We can do other techniques, sutureless. We can do a microkeratome salk, or a femtosecond also has been described as a sutureless technique. The purpose of this, what I feel, is these are just small steps, maybe towards achieving a better surgery. After some time, maybe sometime the femtosecond technique will become affordable. It may come out in a smaller operators compared to what is present at present. So it may add just one aspect to the refinement of surgery.
Okay, good. But just I want to know the name. Any other technique name. Maybe very old, but you should know. Even if old technique also, you should know. There are some techniques. What are those? You tell me.
Epikeratoplasty.
Epikeratoplasty, you have to put the suture.
Yes.
Sutureless.
No, ma'am.
I can say you are not born that time.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Madam, you tell the name. You tell the name, so we will be more conversation, if you don't mind.
That means you are not reading my article.
Quite possible.
Okay. The recent one, that was 2018 to 2000, between 2010 it was published. Two, three journals it was published. That is fibrin glue technique.
Right.
Just fibrin glue technique. That I was asking to the other candidate. Then very old one is overlay suture. Overlay suture. Just one quadrant. That was very old. That time you might not have been born.
Thank you.
Overlay suture. These two, these name you should remember, because sometimes old people, they may ask you. Okay.